which they want to address the board that involve district officers or employees. In the event your comment in the judgment of the presiding officer constitutes a complaint or charge against an employee or an officer, it may be necessary for me to interrupt and ask you to stop and direct you to proceed with the school district's formal grievance proceedings or have the item heard in executive session depending on the nature of the complaint. If a speaker is speaking seeking board resolution of a specific complaint, that concern should be addressed through the district's grievance process, which can be found online, including policies DGBA, FNG, and GF. Grievance forms can be obtained at any campus administration office or in the central administration office. Thank you. And our first speaker is Cindy Gonzalez.
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Cindy Gonzalez. I just want to say that today I hope that you will put the well-being of TMISD as your top priority when you go into closed session. I think this back and forth and so many special sessions is really exhausting, not only for the community, but for yourselves. So today I hope that you put TMISD as your top priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Sylvia Henderson.
Good afternoon. My name is Sylvia Henderson. I live in this community, and I'm glad that I came yesterday to the meeting too. Late, but I got here. I was outside. I just come here to ask you to. I know I saw yesterday's somebody there. They were doing studies to have more buildings for our community, more school, more classrooms, which I'm super glad that you're planning ahead, because obviously our community is growing. It's going to keep growing whether we want it or not. But also wanted to know what you're going to do about the issues that we have right now, the traffic issues. I know none of you have, well, just one of you has a children in the intermediate, but none of you has addressed those issues, and not only the traffic, but other issues that can be fixed. And it won't cost a penny. It just has to be pushing and asking and pushing to the right people. And nothing has been done. I say, I'm okay with you expanding. I'm happy. But how about fixing what we have right now? Because for me, it's 30 to 40 minutes just to get out of the intermediate parking lot, to be able to get out. And I know the traffic manager knows that. He knows what the transportation drivers have to go through on Rand Morgan, what they have to go through on Charles Drive, which is my street, how they struggle to get in and out. How about we fix those issues before we start building? How about we really address them? In the 11 years that I have here, since I got here, I saw those issues, and nothing has been done. When I address traffic department, the school has never called us. When I personally, over a month ago, called Texas Transportation about the issue around Morgan, again, she's like, we haven't heard this issue, but that's good that you brought it up. We're going to address it. The school should have addressed that issue since July, because in July we start seeing the lines backing up all the way from all the way from Leopard and Rand Morgan, all the way to Oregon Trail. They're blocking the entrance of the subdivision. And the same way, they're blocking the entrance, they're blocking all the way to the highway. So both sides of that street, which is Rand Morgan, going south and going north, they're being blocked, and nothing has been done. And this is because of the school, this is because of the traffic, the area is growing, there's more houses. But we need to fix it. I'm glad that you are planning. But how about we fix what we have right now, the issues that we have right now? It's affecting not only the parents, the students, it's affecting the community, the people, the businesses that live around us too, it's affecting them. So please, address those issues before you start building more schools. Thank you.
Thank you for public comment. At this time, we will go into closed session. The board will convene in closed meeting as authorized by the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code 551, or possible. Pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074, discussion regarding the superintendent's employment status, the investigation report of the superintendent's job performance, the possible reinstatement of the superintendent, the possible placement of the superintendent on administrative leave with or without pay, a possible resignation agreement, and the possible proposed termination of superintendent's employment contract. Pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with attorney regarding legal issues related to the superintendent's employment status, the investigation report of the superintendent's job performance, the possible reinstatement of the superintendent, the possible placement of the superintendent on administrative leave with or without pay, a possible resignation agreement, and the possible proposed termination of the superintendent's employment contract. If a closed session item requires action, the board shall take such action upon reconvening in open session 551.102. A certified agenda of closed session is maintained, 551.103, and items are posted and disclosed in accordance with the law, 551.104. It is 1:09 p.m., October the 19th, 2021. We are in closed session. Thank you. We're back from closed session. We're in a possible public hearing pursuant to Texas Local Government Code Section 180.007 regarding a proposed superintendent resignation agreement. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing pursuant to Texas Local Government Code Section 180.007, which requires a public hearing to be held if any payment is made to an employee for former employee that exceeds the contracted amount owed to an employee or former employee. As such, this item has been properly posted and a sign-in sheet has been provided for public to speak if they so desire. It is out where we normally have our sign-in sheets. There's an agenda item tonight that the board, well, today, I should say, agenda item today that the board will consider a voluntary separation agreement and release with Superintendent Dr. Rick Fernandez, who currently is under contract with the district until June 2023. Dr. Fernandez has made an offer in relinquishment of all his contract rights with the district and resigned effective January 31st, 2022. In exchange for a total amount of $159,713.33. The following information is provided. Public purpose: if the board approves the voluntary separation agreement and release, this payment will be offered to end the contractual relationship with the superintendent and seek other leadership for the district, which serves a public purpose for the districts. The proposed payment to be made if the board approves the voluntary separation agreement and release, a payment of $159,713.33 will be made to the superintendent in accordance with the voluntary separation agreement and release. Source of proposed payment: general fund of the Delos Midway ISD. Assurance of control: if the board approves the voluntary separation agreement and release, the agreement will set out the exact terms, and the agreement is subject to review under the Texas Public Information Act. Do we have any speakers that have signed up?
No, sir.
No speakers have signed up. So discussion, the possible action regarding the superintendent's employment status. The investigation report of the superintendent, which is jobs performance which has been done, the possible reinstatement of the superintendent, which has been considered, the possible placement of the superintendent on administrative leave with or without pay, which has been considered, a possible resignation agreement, which has been discussed, and the possible proposed termination of the superintendent's employment contract. I move that we approve the voluntary separation agreement and release is discussed in closed session concerning Superintendent Rick Fernandez's employment contract. That's the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion for the settlement agreement passes 4-3. Thank you very much. That concludes the business of today. Do we have a motion to adjourn, please? Do we have a second? All those in favor? It is 2:49 p.m. October 19th, 2021. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. No comment just yet.
No comment just yet?
No, because we still have to, the attorneys have to get through, they have to go through with all the information that they have to go through the agreement.
Okay.
Make sure everybody's good with the finalization before we can make the agreement.
Okay, same goes with you as well.
Can I get a copy?
I do have an idea that might be a good time to reach back out and get some comment.